G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 25 of my Drain Essence Apostate playthrough with Manfred. Now, I said at the end of the last episode that I was going to go and farm myself a new chess piece, and I did. And I also farmed a few other things as well. Now, I've done something like 10-ish, actually, you know what? I've done exactly 8 runs of Galacros. So, basically, I mean, I go to the Rift. I don't do the running thing. But so get here and then run all the way around this way, in here, and kill Galacros. Now, one thing I've noticed when doing this is actually there are mages in here as well. So that's why I've got a few of these. So Warp to the Aether is kind of mid, honestly. The percentage on it is really nice. 300% Aether damage is quite good, but there's nothing else really going on here. Essence Drinkers is really good. Essence Drinkers of the Aether is 400% Aether damage, which is really nice. Got some casting speed, which does apply to channeled skills. It increases the frequency of the ticks, so it will tick faster, do more damage faster. So that's really good. And +4 to drain essence. So this one's really good. I also dropped a Rune Carved of Alacrity, which is honestly bad. It's just straight up bad. Less Aether percentage than this double magic item, and also a whole bunch of other bonuses that we just can't use. We don't ever swing our weapon, so Alacrity is completely worthless suffix, and Rune Carved is elemental stuff, which we don't do that. And then this one here, Mystic of Insanity, 340% extra damage to Aether Corruptions and Ethereals, 6% Spirit, which is very nice, and then +4 to Drain Essence. The last one that I found, this one is Aggressive of Insanity. This one actually has some very nice stuff on it. This one is probably the one I'm going to use. So we've got only 250% Aether damage, but if we come over here, we've already got a very large number here. So going from 15 to 18, actually how much is on here? 100%. Yeah, so about another 150. It's like a 10% increase. Making that 10% a 15%, it's probably not a horrible idea. But this one has +4 to Drain Essence, casting speed, offensive ability percentage, health percentage, all the usual stuff. And +4 to Drain Essence is really nice. So the other one with +4 was this one, and was this one as well. Yes, so these are right out. That one's just rubbish. That one is a nice percentage, but whatever. So we're looking at level 94, level 94, level 94. So there's no reason to keep one of these to use, say, for example, from level 90. I think, is there an item that had level 90 on it? Not one of these. Okay. So one of these is just going to be better. And this has the lowest percentage on it, but it also has the highest casting speed. Equal highest, I should say. This one's 9%. So it's going to be one of these two. And honestly, I think it has to be this one. So I am going to keep this one, and these can go in the bin. The other thing I picked up was just a random Ascendant Hood. This is here for the +3 to Inquisitor Seal, and I guess some of that elemental damage is going to be converted, but it's kind of whatever. This is a really nice one, though, just in terms of extra health. So if I put this on, 12,000 health just becomes 13,000 in one go, which is quite nice. So I'm going to swap that in now. This is the only helmet I found, by the way. So all this extra, all this other stuff, and only one helmet dropped. The Singe plating, obviously, I'm not planning on using because it doesn't have the conversion that I want. So actually, let's just get rid of those, and we can get rid of these. And this one I'm keeping. This one I want my my component back on. All right. So first one, Aggressive of the Void, 4% Aether, 4% offensive ability is definitely not horrible. But that's kind of the only thing that really comes with it. The hive conversion percentage is quite good, but other than that, it's kind of whatever. Then we have Mage Storm, which is lightning and aether, which is quite good. 35% on this one as well. And then offensive and defensive ability and an extra 2 resistances on it. So this is not bad. We have Templars of Attack here. This one's got percentage elemental damage, which is useless, and a little bit more aether damage, a good chunk of offensive ability, and 11% armor. This one also has a good chunk of chaos resistance, which could be useful. Could be useful. And then this one, which I think I'm actually going to be using, mostly because of the Aether Missile proc. And Preserving is a whole bunch of vitality resistance, which, if we look here, I'm a little bit under. I'll get, I think this is 10, 15. Okay, yeah, so I'm 10% over. But if I use this one, I'm 97% over. And then I can swap out this Soul Shard for maybe another Ectoplasm. Maybe I'll find some of the ring components, like the Bloodied Crystal. So this is the one I'm thinking I'm going to use. This is level 90, which means it's equipable early, but it also means that this is actually a level 84 base item, and I've picked up a level 90, probably Arcane Blaze, but it might be the Preserving. One of those requires level 90, or both, could be both. And then at level 94, is it worth swapping to one of these? Honestly, it probably isn't, but I think I'll hang on to this one just in case. Now, the other things I found, the Mythical Runic Braces, which are actually quite good. I am probably going to swap these in as well. +2 to Inquisitor Seal, amazing. Extra armor, great. Extra health, awesome. 4 good resistances. The only thing about these that I don't love is the Prismatic Shield proc. 10% physical resistance is really nice, but all of the rest of those resistances should never be useful, ever. So yeah, I'm going to swap those in. And then potentially the Anchorite's leg armor. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. It is a lot of extra armor. So we'll see about that one, but probably not. And I did find the Living Armor blueprint as well. So I'm going to go ahead and eat that. And I'm probably not going to use these for a little while. We'll see how we go. If I ever have just huge amounts of bleeding resistance, I might put one in here, but they are quite expensive for a temporary thing, so maybe not. All right, let's get these components back, and then we can go and do some stuff. Yeah, that's fine. Keep the add-on. Let's put that on there. Same with this one. Keep the add-on. Put that on the helmet. And then these I'm going to hang on to. Stoneguard Pommeler was just a legendary item that dropped. I don't really know why I hung onto that. The places for this, again, Galacros, and then just poke your head out here. Oh look, there's a star. I see a star. I'm going to kill him. So the only heroes I ever found out here... oh good, it's the wrong one. I found twice here. And then there are mages up here, but these guys never dropped me anything. There was never a hero there. They're honestly kind of let me down. Same with just here. There's more mages in this house. But I don't think they ever actually dropped me anything. Alright, so we're 10 minutes in. Let's actually go and do some stuff. Oh, I did have skill points to spend as well. And I'm just going to dump them into Deadly Aim for now. Mostly because I don't really have anything else I want. More points in Word of Agony would be okay. A couple points here would be okay. Doesn't really do much though. Yeah, it would be okay. The extra radius here is honestly the biggest bonus. And then the added fire and cold here. I'm converting a little bit of fire to Aether. And you can get elemental to Aether conversion on various items. So you can make it work, but it's not worth the effort, in my opinion. Once I run out of, I mean, in 2 more levels, I run out of points, and then maybe just bring the bar up to about here. All right, so we're out here. We are looking for wagons and aether crystals. Because, and say it with me, you can never have enough aether crystals. Okay, there's probably like one person who actually said it. That's fine, I understand. Alright, so I actually got the first wagon first here, which doesn't happen. I usually miss the first one, get all the way to the end of the district, and have to come back. But this time I found it early, which is good. It's very nice. I'm seeing a lot of mages here. This is actually another decent place to farm for mages. You're really looking for heroes, though, which technically can exist out here, but I very rarely see them in this section. Usually they'll be sort of down here near the other entrance. Alright, I've got a few big boys here. These guys can get a little bit annoying to kill. You know what? I don't care about them. Let's continue heading north here. I will be going to get that totem, but I will get to that when I get to it. Alright, here is it Nico? It is Nico. Would you like to live today? Let's see. I'm not one of the monsters. I can get you there. What choice do you have? Nope, you have chosen death. So, sucks to be you, I guess. And then we can stuff the kids into the rift gate. I just clicked the wrong button. I don't actually know what happened with them. I hope they didn't just die. I hope they actually got sent to town. Alright, so my usual path through here, I want to go across the top. Mostly out of habit. There's not really any great need to go this way. But I do want that totem, so I'm going to cut through this building. Free mage. Free couple of mages. The spellbreakers can drop the things I'm looking for, but usually they just kind of don't. Which is unfortunate. Mostly because I like loot, and I would like to get more loot. Okay, I think we can, yeah, just turn this on. Everybody gets a nice word of aether resistance shredding. And this is something I mentioned earlier when I was saying I really don't want to use the ring. I don't know which one of these is from this ring, and which ones are from enemy effects, so I kind of have to get out of them very quickly. Okay, hulking leg guards. Maybe. They're probably worth hanging on to. A lot of the blue pants... actually, I can't wear those. I don't have the stats for it. A lot of the blue pants are worth hanging on to, at least for a little bit. And yeah, I don't want any of this stuff. Mage Storm is a pretty good prefix, but I can't actually remember if I used Mage Storm anywhere except the weapon this entire playthrough. Okay, apparently that's not a door. And we're not allowed to climb through windows in this game. So now I'm just kind of going across the top. There is a dynamite in the top right corner. Or I guess the northeast corner. There's the poo pants, which everybody loves. Well, a lot of people love. One day I'll make a build around those. I say that about every interesting item. This game just has so many interesting items that you want to make a build around. But it's also... there are so many builds you want to make. There's just not enough time. At least that's how I feel. Okay, let's go collect my free dynamite. And also some extra mages. Who, of course, don't drop me anything. It's okay. I think I've kind of farmed enough that I'm kind of happy. That's not going to stop me from going back to kill these ones, but I am, I think, happy with the drops that I've got. like I mentioned, I'm still going to go back and kill these. Of the Winter Storm, really good proc to get on cold builds, and kind of making me excited to play a cold build, even though I have no plans to do it. But Winter Storm procs are really fun, especially if you're playing like a Nightblade, some sort of cold caster using Nightblade as a secondary. You hit things with Veil of Shadows and it triggers all the ice spike procs off of everything. Can be really fun. Alright, Hagras the Aether Flame. It's going to drop me the pet helmet. No, he's not. Okay, that's cool. So Ascended Shoulder Guards, Piercing to Vitality conversion, actually ridiculously good resistances on that. Prismatic is why it has 84% Elemental, and then Heroism for probably all except for the bleeding there. That's not bad. Ascended Conduit's obviously the wrong one, and these things are really irritating. Also, this is surprising that I didn't pick that up in normal. Treasure Trove just here. This is pretty much the only place I know to check for that. Anchorite's Pants again. I don't know if I'm going to end up using these, but I'm mostly looking at the resistances and, yeah, the... where do we go? The second one I found was by far the better one. You sort off back into the building. Okay, and I'm going to poke my head out here just because, you know, I like hidden loot. And there's 2 dead bodies here. I am running out of room in my inventory, so probably I'll have to go and empty it not too far away. Once again, stairs, how do they work? These ones are apparently ribbed because the character ends up vibrating up them. There we go. Ascendant Cow, Audit of Vitality, that's the pet one. Both of those helmets are fairly rare. Watch as another one drops from these 3. Mondrak the Ever-Burning. Well, he dead. Also, the chest piece that dropped, was it this one? Arcane Lore. I feel like there was an Arcane Blaze one that dropped as well. Are you kidding me? It's got to be another one. It can't be the same one from before. I think they just spawn whenever you're standing still. You will not check your inventory while you're in the Candle District. Alright, we'll take these guys out. I see that eyeball floating up the back there, but take out his bigger, chunkier friends first. That's the end of him, and one more wagon. There we go. Okay, so wagons are done. Which you'd love to see. The other thing I want to do, because I do actually farm this area, especially for gaining reputation when I've just finished. So you finish the game, you know, you kill Korvac or decided you're not going to. This is a good place to farm for reputation or anti-reputation. So I want to clear this little area here so I can see it on the map and find totems easier. Also, this building just has tons of mages in it, so if you find a hero in there, definitely worth it. And these guys coming over this way as well, so definitely want to take them out. Alright, so we're done here. Let me get this chest. Ooh, those are tempting. It's probably not really good for this build, but I have a thing for Dancing Shadows as a suffix. Probably, I mean, let's be honest, I get a lot of Nightblades killed, so maybe don't take advice from me on how to build a Nightblade and what's good. But I do really like those, that affix on pants. Alright, here we go. We found Bolag. Everything else can just kind of run up behind me and accidentally die here. That'll be fine. The other thing I was thinking as well is with my remaining level ups, it may, still shadows, may be worth actually taking Ill Omen here for the reduced target's damage. I don't know that I'm going to do it. Mostly because I already have 5, let's say, we'll say 6 buttons. And that's kind of enough for me. Alright, wagons done. I was expecting another guy there. Did I miss a quest? Maybe. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'll join the attack. Seems like I didn't, but I'm not convinced. Alright, let's vendor a whole bunch of stuff here, and then we'll go out and retake the Steel Cap District. Now, in theory, we could potentially get this entire act done today. We'll see how we go for time. I do tend to limit these videos to about an hour, and then some days, like the last episode, is a little bit shorter. But today should be about an hour, which is enough time. If I push through this, we can get this done today. And if I kind of just take my time, then maybe not. Alright, I'm turning the loot off here. Not that I don't want to see it, it's more that I'm expecting there to be a lot of it. And so I want to be able to see what's going on, make sure there's nothing too dangerous coming. And I didn't see the arcane. There's almost always an arcane hero that comes, I think this way, maybe it is the next one. Okay, there's Agilgara's. No, that's it. There's usually one in that. So it didn't happen today. I was about to just do my usual whinge about the Perdition set, but that's not Perdition, so that's fine. Volcanum is quite good for if you don't need your metal to enable your build. You may want one of these for low-car farming. You may not want one of these for low-car farming as well. It's just kind of good to have. Dead Beater we don't want. Shoulder of the Paragon, definitely not. But this is usually kind of okay, just because of the stats on it. Not for this build at this point, though. I already have better, shall we say. Okay. Grab the rest of this loot, pick up some quests, and then get out the door. Alright, I will breach the grates. 8th Fire, rank 24. That's nearly maxed out, which is nice. And we'll pick these up as well. Find the supplies, and let's go. So, I actually used to really dislike the city of Malmouth. There's still things about it that I don't like, namely stairs. But it is actually kind of, it has grown on me. And now I would probably say it's maybe not my favorite act in the entire game. That'd have to be Act 1. But it is still quite good. There's Wrathmorn, which I will eat the blueprint for. Assuming I can pick it up correctly. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite acts now. The entire city, you can get through it pretty quickly in terms of the duration of the act. Can be done quite quickly, especially if you skip a lot of the side stuff. These things are really irritating. It's not even really hurting me all that much. It's just annoying. What do we got here? 147%. Still only +2. Yeah, that's kind of garbage. And then, was there a... Yeah, this one here. Vitality to Elemental. Not something I'm interested in. The +3 to Inquisitor's Seal on that is quite good. If I was playing Vitality Drain Essence, I would equip that in a heartbeat. But definitely am not playing that, so can stay in the bin. Wraithbound is no good. Incanter's no. Soleil's Malice is not what I thought it was. I was expecting a Doombolt proc, but I think that may be gloves only. Why is everyone in the choke points? I don't understand. There's normally no one in this section. Alright, that's fine. We're gonna kill Mr. Fra here. Or Fraff. I don't know how to pronounce that one. I'm gonna go with Fraff. Just because it sounds stupid. It amuses me. No, I'm not 3 years old, I swear. Alright, so we've got the arcane supplies here. That always comes with a whole bunch of enemies to kill. But that's alright. We stand in the circle of I take no damage and just kind of hold right click and it just works. It's fine. Actually, that's something to look at. I'm still 10% over. Okay, so I still can't sell, or I still can't swap the ring component. I mean, I could, I guess, but no. I do, however, have some skill points to spend. These are probably some of the least impactful skill points you're going to spend. Having said that, that is a lot of offensive ability. If we look at my OA, it's 2170, and then 2290 drops back down to 2000. It's not this that's doing it. Anyway. 16% offensive ability is pretty good, pretty good. I think that display was not updating. Anyway, that's fine. This is Old Mate that I was expecting in the Steel Cap fight. I think it's Arrakis. I was absolutely expecting him to come out in that last wave of heroes. Alright, so we've got Vivian here. Vivian is happy to go back to the Steel Cape District. Unfortunately, Richter here, he for some reason just wants to die in the street all by himself. He definitely could go die in the Steel Cap District or maybe get some help. But no, he wants to die in the street. Which, I guess that's his right. It's just a little bit weird, that's all. Alright, so here is Chaos Corner. This is potentially one of the most dangerous sections of the entire city, because you'll get stuff coming out of the ground here, and you've got mages coming out of the building here, and the abandoned weapons, which usually have a lot more friends than this. And then sometimes you'll get the Flesh Weaver, I think it's Haraxus here, and he is also bringing friends. So potentially you can have a lot of enemies here. It just kind of didn't pan out that way. I haven't seen the Flesh Weaver here for quite a few playthroughs now, which is starting to get a little bit weird. See here the Prismatic Shield, 37% physical resistance is pretty unheard of during leveling, but I do enjoy it. Yeah, here's Haraxus. This is his second of, I think, 3 spawn locations. I seem to find him here most of the time. There we go. And all that goop on the ground definitely tickles. Alright, what do we get actually? Crit chance 7. Yeah, 15.5. That's more believable. Once everything's going, obviously. Alright, here's my Exalted Stash. Cost me a dynamite to get, and I've got the Edge of Sanity. Now, I'm definitely not using it, but that Insanity proc is actually not bad. 20% Aether resistant shredding is very tempting. Granted, you have to get hit, and it's a melee weapon, so it does very little else for us, but 20% resistant shredding is nothing to sneeze at. And it is a little bit tempting. Alright, I'm just clearing the door here for the Black Iron docks. I've probably gone too far, let's be honest. But it also probably doesn't matter. Let's just leave. This is the Black Iron Docks door. It's locked for now. But I will be back. I will be back. Okay, we've got some more mages here. This is another good place to find them. If I had complete open access, like say I've finished this entire expansion, I've done Forgotten Gods, and I've just hit level 94, and let's say I wanted to farm, a really nice bunch of gear, because this comes from the mages, this comes from the mages, this is Galacros, but let's say I only needed to farm mages. I would do it in Crown Hill. I can never remember the name of that place. Yeah, I would farm in Crown Hill. There's definitely more mages there. There is a bounty you can get that will guarantee you, it's Tor Exterior, will guaranteed be there. Good chance of dropping things. So that's where I would do it. I'm coming this way just to blow the dynamite site. Every time I don't blow this up, I end up regretting it, and I have to go the long way to get somewhere, usually the Black Iron Docks. And every time I do end up blowing it up, I also end up not using it. So I'm hoping I won't need to use it. I'm spending 3 dynamite to avoid annoyance later. Also, what's the attack speed percentage on that Edge of Sanity? 16. I want to say that goes up to 18 or 19. So I'm probably not going to use that on my Aether Death Knight. But it is quite a good weapon. Let's talk to Hiram. Where are you, Hiram? Was you? Let's go ahead and throw you back to town. And we've got another batch of NPCs to collect. We've got another Exalted stash up here, actually. Which I do want to open on the way past. And by on the way past, I mean I'm going to open a rift gate here. And I'll come back for it. Alright, everybody nicely cursed up. And now you're all dead. Which is just absolutely lovely. I did want to blow the gates up, thank you. And yes, I know you have very important things to say, but I have an Exalted stash to go and collect. Also, potentially, we could get the Evander's quest. I kind of showed that back in normal. Realistically, I probably should do it, but I'm also probably not going to. It's a lot of running for what is essentially a single Exalted stash and some trash loot, which I don't really care, if I'm being honest. I don't remember if it gives reputation. I probably maybe I should do it for potential reputation. I have a feeling, though, that it does not give you reputation. And I think I'm okay with just farming totems for reputation later. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it. I will, however, grab... Oh, nope, I already got it back in normal. There's a lore note here somewhere. Well, maybe it's in that building. I forget. There's one here somewhere anyway. Alright, so the second group of the most suspiciously not dead NPCs in the game. The other one, of course, being Hiram's group. But Nadia here, I mean, they're literally not even... There's not even a door between them and this staircase that was just crawling with them. There's no way they've been there for multiple days and not been eaten. But hey, it's a game, I guess. Alright, we'll turn some quests in, and also I want to sell things. So, what are you plotting? Yep. Black Iron Docks, right. Level 89 as well. Let's max out Deadly Aim. Do I want to do that, actually? No, you know what? I think it's probably past time. Let's go to the Coven. I'm going to rip the points out of Deadly Aim, and I'm going to max out Ill Omen, just for a little bit of extra defense. Also really good for triggering various devotion procs and gear procs if you've got that sort of thing. I think I only need 10, right? Yeah, so it's 26% less damage. It says it's for 1 second, but it reapplies every second, so it's actually for 6 seconds. And then the recast on this is pretty good. So I'm happy with that. I'm also tempted with Mark of Torment for more damage absorption. Between this and Ill Omen, you can reduce your incoming damage by a lot, and then Inquisitor's Seal potentially is going to reduce anything except massive slams. Will be reduced down to nothing. I think I'm going to sit on this. What do I actually get out of this? Whoops. The offensive ability is really good, though. Okay. Do I have anything I want to put on Ill Omen? That's on my main attack. This one is actually on Word of Pain. That's fine. This, I really need... Can I just get any random permanent buff? Just so I can chuck that on there so it stops falling off. I think the answer is no. That's really bad. Alright, we'll have to go on a weapon thing then. Maybe Word of Renewal. This should be up all the time. I keep putting this, I think I've been putting it on like Aether Weapons or something, and it keeps being unbound, so I'm missing a ton of levels from this because it's been not bound for a lot of the time. This probably should be 15 or 16, which is really, really annoying. And it's entirely my fault, which makes it even more annoying. This one doesn't seem to be doing it though. I'm guessing that's the, yeah, right hand. Which I guess is a main hand. That's fine. It's still attached. That's fine. And do we do the Black Iron Docks, or do we go for Ulgrim? I think we go for Ulgrim. Alright, I know I don't need any of this stuff. I probably should be checking gloves. I know these fall off pretty heavily in terms of armor. Yeah, goodbye. Yep, that's fine. Okay, and we can bank this stuff as well. Would help if I could click on things. And I'll actually go sell this as well. There we go. Alright, so we've got a little bit of money here. Probably around about 5 million bits is a decent time to just kind of stop. I'm going to do the Black Iron Docks. I know I just said I was going to go talk to Ulgrim. But I am going to go do the Black Iron Docks. Mostly because I blew the dynamite site open and I want to use it. Because I always do this. I'll blow it open and then I'll just not use it. So I'm going to go use it for the first time in a long time. I don't know how long. It's a very long time. I don't know where this thing is going, but it's not going there fast enough. So I'm just going to bounce past it. And then we can go in here. The resistance peoples can take care of things that are following me. Since I'm in the area, let's get the free loot. Absolutely not worth. Although that's not bad. I don't think I'm going to wear them, but then that's not horrible. Alright, so Black Iron Docks. We're looking at waves of enemy heroes, which could potentially get out of hand fairly quickly. The other thing I need to do is... Why is that available on left click? Let's go ahead and put... I need another button. Alright, let's put Ill Omen here. And we will put Call of the Grave here. I may end up taking those points out. It is a nice little heal, but it's definitely not needed. Alright, here we go. So it's going to take a little bit to get used to ill-omening things. Honestly, you probably don't need to use it except on bosses that you're worried about. So that'll be really useful for Korvac, and not really super useful for anything else. I'm going to turn the loot off at this point, because we're about to fight a whole bunch of bosses on one little spot here. Let's get the Skelly Bros out. Okay, no heroes in the first wave, which is surprising. There's Revered with the Malmouth resistance. I'm actually going to take the time here. I'm going to go back to town and grab an XP pot. Maybe even 2 XP pots. Also, you can just buy these. I'd forgotten about that. So, yeah. Potentially, you could find a triple rare just by farming the vendor. Having said that, they did massively nerf the chance to get double rares from vendors. So before, I have shopped for double rares before, or triple rares, I guess I should say. Double rare monster infrequent items. I have shopped for them before, and it took 3 or 4 hours of resetting to get the items. But you could do it. Let's go ahead and grab some of these. I'm gonna... Really? Considering the number of times I do that, you think I would have learned by now. I am going to use that. I do want to get to 90 and then 94 pretty quickly. Alright, as soon as I come in, I'm throwing out the Ill Omen. Standing in my, my circle. And just spreading Ill Omen amongst all this stuff. I'm going to take a lot less damage. None of this, I think, is probably going to be used. And the Ethereals are still here. At least some of them. But the quest waves are dead, so it counts. Alright, Black Iron Dock's done. And I guess we can do the council as well, why not? Let's go get that done. Alright, so back to Crown Hill. Actually, before I do that, I've been saying that a lot lately. Before I do that, I do want to check the bounties here. So I'm looking for Tor Exterior, not Haraxis, so next one. Tor Exterior, beautiful. If you also are looking for Tor Exterior, expect to have to exit to menu and check again a couple of times. But Tor Exterior is in Crown Hill, is a mage hero, and will drop you some potentially nice items. So I like to go this way first. There we go. How's my health looking? Barely even moving anymore. The power of Ill Omen. Having said that, Horn of Gandar is probably better for applying that effect. It doesn't spread, but it just hits everything all at once. And everything right now is probably better than, you know, a couple things every second or so. Alright, you can see the mages here. This has actually been very little in the way of mages compared to normal. These buildings are usually absolutely crawling with mages. There's a nice pet helmet for the character not playing a pet build. Now, this is, again, I want to run around and clear the fog, or clear the map so I can see these things where they've spawned. Because I'm going to be farming this totem for reputation later. Okay, grab all of this. None of those blues look particularly useful. Terror of the Grove definitely is not. Boots, maybe. No. But, you know, maybe. That's fine. Alright, and this is what I actually came here for, the Fleshbound event. I did want to see that. I probably want to come out here as well. Is it this one, or is it the previous house? That's a lot of mages, I definitely want to come out here. Here we go. Ascended Cowl. Is that the wrong one again? Yeah, it's pet stuff. Aggressive of Frostbite is definitely not what I'm after. Okay, I am actually in the wrong spot. I think it was... Am I in the wrong spot? There's another totem spawn anyway. Might be here, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, you can see why I'm saying if you want to farm these, you want to do it here. Mystic of Alacrity. Okay, well, it's the wrong one anyway, but that's good. Okay, so let's get this little fight out of the way here. And then we can see Ill Omen spreading like a virus. So it used to be that Ill Omen would cause fear. I see you, Valexteria. Ill Omen would cause fear, and then you would pair it with the... as a Kabbalist, you'd pair it with the Occultist Bloody Pox, which would cause things to run around super fast. And so you just throw both of those on one guy, and he would run around and spread fear and sow chaos, basically. Alright, so here is my best buddy, Valexteria. And she has a Sunder Meteor, that one, which I was kind of hoping would just hit the wall. It didn't, as it turns out. But that's fine, I can just evade those. And down she goes. Alright, Emberguard Gauntlets is great. There we go, we can spread Ill Omen there. So her robes is Aether to Lightning, so we are never using these. Ascendant Authority, I believe, is her weapon, and we are also never using that. Now the other thing I wanted to bring up here was Tor Exterior, and I'm going to go check a spawn location for her, or him, or whatever it is. Which is just up here on this platform, so probably it's not here. Or is it over on this platform? It's one of the two. I think it's this one. That's fine. I'm going to kill this, and I can just sort of drop down here. And potentially there's a treasure trove in here. I think it's up here. Anyway, no treasure trove for me. That's fine. I'm going to backtrack a bit. Mostly I wanted to show the Tor Exterior spawn locations, but she's not home today, so we'll have to go back downstairs. This way. It is incredibly difficult to find where to go when you're running backwards in a zone. It's probably just me, but yeah, I have real trouble finding where to go sometimes if I'm running the wrong direction through a zone. And done. Lovely. More XP. Corba's Furs, don't care. Spell Scorch Plating, this is really, really good. That's kind of... I wouldn't say it's my default, like, I have all the resistances I need kind of thing, but it's good for getting elemental resistance. It's got a bunch of health on it. I'm just running down here because there's a totem spawn here sometimes, and I want to be able to see it. But yeah, Spell Scorch Plating goes in pretty much all of my builds at the end. I'm still running backwards through the map, which is doing my head in. Utterly doing my head in. Let's go, those two. That was my last level up with 2 skill points as well. Alright, Tor Exterior potentially could spawn up here. I think kind of here-ish. It's not here, so there's only one other place I know of where it could be. So I'm going to go over there. Actually, you know what? let's just do it this way. I really have done a very bad job of going where I should go in order. That's fine. We'll get it all done. And it'll be fine. Very inefficient, but still fine. Alright, the Scaly Birds will take care of him. I'll bash the vent. And that's it. We are good to continue. So, this is what I should have done. Run through here, and then said, oh look, Tour Exterior could be here. It's not. That's alright. We'll go check the next place where it could be. And it's not here. It's actually over here in the next building. Which I'll be very surprised if it isn't here, because I've been all the other places. Apparently I missed one. There's one I don't know about. Because it should be right here. Maybe I killed it by accident and just didn't notice. Actually, no, I still have the quest to slay it, so it's definitely somewhere where I haven't been yet. Let me just poke my head down here, have a look, see if the council's home. I do have the quest to kill the council. You know what? Maybe we go a little bit long today. It's the start of my weekend, so it's basically Friday night. Can go a little bit long today. All right, what do they got? Corrupted, whole bunch of extra chaos damage. How much do I care about that? Actually, a little bit. Not massively, but yeah, I do care a little bit. Now, Tour Exterior is definitely not going to be in here. And that's kind of okay. Because the great thing about coming in here is the reputation you get from the council. You get 3 heroes. Technically bosses. They have skulls above their head, not stars. So technically they are bosses. Which means, I think it's 130 reputation. I'm actually revered with Malmouth, so I'm not hugely worried about that, but the Ethereal Vanguard could get Nemesis, which would give me a chance to test the farming potential of just hitting Galacros over and over to spawn Alexander, and then see sort of how fast you can get gear from doing that. I do want to test it a little bit. Also, alternate methods of farming gear when you just first crack level 100 is always fun to me. So I'm definitely killing more of this stuff than I should, but I'm kind of fine with that. Alright, so we got the council here. Let's go ahead and throw down all of the damage buffs, all of the, ill omen and such. Refresh that pretty much on cooldown. And you'll see I'm barely taking damage. I mean, I am taking damage, but it's immediately healed up. Alright, first guy's down, so they've got crystals spinning around them. They've got damage resistance. And it just kind of didn't matter. Took a couple of big hits, actually. And, ooh, hello. +1 to Necro? Yes. Vitality? Not so great. Elemental to Vitality conversion, I don't really care about. This would be really good for doing the Vitality version of this build. If you could get enough Elemental to Vitality conversion, you could convert all of your Inquisitor Seal over as well. That'd be alright. Okay, there's usually a few friends out here. No friends for me today, that's fine. I'm just here for the loot. Amatox Step, these are really good for any cold build. Storm Surge Pistol. One of the only monster infrequent, well, crafted monster infrequent lightning pistols in the game. At least for leveling. I don't remember that having Wind Devil stuff on it, but that is kind of cool. Yeah, Amatox step here. The spines of ice. When you get hit, do ice and piercing damage. The important part here, though, is the chance to freeze for 1 second. And this goes off every 1.8 seconds if you're being hit. You can get a lot of mileage out of freezing things. Granted, anything you actually really care about freezing is going to be immune to it, but they're still pretty good. Okay, human remains, pop the fancy chest, pick up the +1 soldier skills, helmet, and we'll be on our way. Now, I am missing a tour exterior. So I'm going to do a little bit of exploring, and like I said, we're going to end up with a little bit of a longer episode today, and that's fine. I'm pretty sure it's going to be over here. There he is. I haven't even looked yet. I know it's him. Yep. Why am I not standing in my Inquisitor seal, you ask? Well, because it's on the wrong side of a wall. Alright, so we've got the hood. Overseers of Corrosion. I am probably going to put that on. And we've got 2 other Ascendant items. So, Warped of Veracity. Warped is okay. That's the flat Aether damage, which is... I mean, I say it's okay. It does literally nothing for us, but it is Aether stuff. And then Veracity is Lifesteal. So the attack damage converted to health and vitality bonuses. +2 to Reaping Strike. So actually this is not... it's not very good. Pauldron's Cold to Lightning conversion, Sky Fragment there. Yeah, it's kind of whatever. This one being level 94 base as well. Do you... Look at that. Look at that tortoiseshell. Prismatic Rage. This thing here. Fine, I'll go somewhere else to talk. I can't even remember what I was talking about now. It's probably not important. Where'd that helmet go? Yeah, that one. Keeping that. Level 90, more armor, more good. Those little Aether Tornadoes are just so frustrating. It's probably a good thing, actually. It kind of speeds things up. Stop talking and go do something. Or I guess stand there and die is also an option. Alright, circuit breakers are coming back up. The good thing about the tortoise is the recast on it is really good. Let's go talk to Algrim. There we go. What do we do now? Arcane Bomb 19, amazing. Great, fantastic. Let's get in there and kill ourselves a big ethereal. I'm worried about lightning resist. I'm worried about aether resist. Both of them are massively overbuffed. I think I'm going to be fine. And then between Inquisitor Seal and Ill Omen, I'm going to take very little damage from him. As long as I get out of the Sunder, it'll be fine. Even standing in the Sunder, honestly, should be fine. I'm not going to do it, but it should be fine. I think I'll probably skip all of the loot in the walls here. I'm definitely going to do the other U quest, though, because it's worth skill points. So let's just go through here. The best way to get through this area is to have either Soldier or Nightblade, and have either Blitz or Shadow Strike. Or both. Both is good. And then also get the movement rune from Forgotten Gods. That is one of those 2. And then you can just chain back-to-back move skills. And you get through here really fast. Alright, just use this little doorway as a bit of a choke point. I know I said I was going to skip this, but that's fine. It's fine, don't worry about it. Okay, here's the door for the other U, which means it's time to take a quick trip down to the Coffin's Refuge. And we need to talk to... Is it Rugia? I think it's Rugia. Yeah, see you, Rugia. Lay on the crazy. Okay, the other U. Find the other U Sia Rugia spoke of. Well, I'm already standing outside a door, so let's go kill her. And pick up some free stat points, or skill points. So door should open. Yep, it's already open. Lovely. And the great thing about this quest is the Ethereal was sent here to kill. Wants to talk. You can see Ill Omen spreading all the way down the back there. Confusion spreading amongst the ranks. Really, really good skill. Alright, so Illustria wants to talk. There we go. No, I don't think I will. I think I'm good. There we go. First form is dead. Keep using Ill Omen. And I can't remember if this thing sunders. So I guess if she does sunder me, I'll... honestly, I'll probably ignore it. There we go. Alright, Stormguard leggings. Couple of blues. Not great, not amazing, not bad. The important part here is to kill the character, because... Do I need to go back to talk to her? Or do I just get it? I just get it. Beautiful. 2 additional skill points. I don't think I'm going to bother with extra points in the bar here. You definitely could. You could probably argue that these points would be better spent in attributes and then get Horn of Gandar. But I don't think I care enough, really, to make that change. The final build, once we've got everything together, we'll probably use it, but I haven't got that far. I've just been looking at other people's, and they tend to use Horn. So that's kind of fine. Also got this little hidden section here off the map with some more free loot. And while I'm thinking about it, actually, I did just hit level 91, which means my weapon, I think it was a weapon, level 90, chest guard? Yeah. New chest piece. Let's go ahead and chuck that in. Also, the reason I was so excited about... Oh, did I sell it? Where is it? Overseers? Ascendant Hood? Yeah, so the Overseer's prefix, you'll note just above the elemental resistance there, increase armor absorption by 26%. That means I don't need this scaled hide anymore. My armor absorption is going to be really good. Let's just go chuck that in there. Mystic Fortitude on a pet helmet is not what I'm after. Overseer's corrosion is completely worthless. But an Overseer's Ascendant Hood of absolutely anything is quite good. So I'm very happy with that. I'm going to melt that. Keep the add-on. Yes, I'm sure. I do still need this for a little bit, because I can't wear that helmet till 94. But did just pick up an Aether Missile proc. 3 projectiles, each one doing 5,000 damage every second and a half. So that's about 10,000 DPS just from that, which is not an insignificant amount. Also, I'm going to vendor this stuff while I'm here. Why not? Corbus stuff. Sorry to anyone who's making that Trickster. But at the same time, don't really need it. What was that helmet? Mighty of Corrosion. Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't want either of those. Alright. I don't need to bank that. That's kind of fine. Let's go kill ourselves a boss. And actually, I don't need to kill you guys either. They managed to get their shields up. This little section here, you can get some mage heroes, actually, here. Send conduits, the wrong one. I'm just going to leave that on the floor. I'm also going to run over here and pick up the fancy chest. And then everybody can just, you know, chase me to the door and then stand around doing nothing. They can't follow you through doors, which is always fun. Alright, let's go bash Krieg, and then after that, actually, maybe he'll drop me a chest, or is he helmet, I think? Could be good. get some Krieg set pieces. I do want the gloves and boots at some point. Alright, Fleshweaver Krieg. Let's take him out. Keep Ill Omen active. Sundered. Don't even care. Look at how much damage I'm taking. Alright, raise the dead, rank up. That's some more resistant shredding. Love to see it. And we are, of course, going to burn it down. Wayward Soul finally leveling up. Where is the chest in here? Did I accidentally hit it earlier? Must have. There's usually a chest in here. Another one of those flesh-warped, baggy type chests. But that's fine. Alright, so I'm looking for the two guys in here with skulls above their heads. There's one of them. So, good old Hagelvar the Bonemonger. And then we'll go find... Is it Raggle? Raggle something? I don't know, it doesn't matter. He's gonna die. Voidmancer's Horde. Nice pet belt from memory. Yep. Acid to lightning conversion, really good for a lightning pet Kabbalist. You can get your Blight Fiend to be... you can actually get it to be 100% lightning damage. Right, let's get out of the goop. And it's Rodalga. I had a feeling it started with R. Z Spectral Wrath killing those guys off. One of my favorite skills. Okay, Shadow Grasp. There's also the loot in the walls here. If I can... Okay, you're making me look stupid here, guys. Okay. Let's be honest, I'm making me look stupid there. Trying to hit a part of the wall. Only taking half of the loot. And I may as well kill this stuff. I am still looking for reputation, or a negative reputation, nemesis rep. And that's going to head and open the door. So, last minute check, resistances are all fine. Let's just go kill him. At this point, this boss shouldn't be particularly difficult. So, chuck down a seal, push all of the buttons, and I should barely notice my health bar move. In fact, I'm not watching my health bar, I'm watching the Ill Omen timer on the boss's bar. So, 2, 1, 0, reset Ill Omen. There he goes. Got some friends coming. Come on, buddy. Let's go. So I'm leading with Ill Omen. But honestly, it shouldn't really matter. I am seeing a few extra skills that I don't normally see, so I am probably going to have to dodge a Sunder or two. Which is fine. So when he jumps up into the air, you want to evade away. Probably want to avoid that too, honestly. Alright. I am beholding. And it doesn't matter. Alright, so his MI is actually kind of okay. It's not even close to good as Cadence. But if you don't have a default attack replacer, so say you're playing a Spellbinder and you want to play melee, this is one of the ways you can do it. Aetherfire of the Aether is not the worst thing this can roll. I wouldn't recommend it though, it's not great. Alright, Exterminus, Runeguard Greaves. Let's just get rid of the friends first. And what else? What else do we get? Cortesian Scrolls. Okay, those shoulders. Not bad, not bad. Plus 3 to Word of Agony is this one. So increase the range, or the AoE on that. Aether and Chaos resistance. Panetti's proc is, it's kind of whatever. It's the wrong damage type. It's only on a crit, not on an attack, so it's not great. It is an offensive proc rather than a defensive one, which, yeah. And what do we got here? Rune Guard Greaves. Rune Guard is an elemental and aether damage ward, which is really good. +3 to Steel Resolve is pretty good. These might actually be worth using. I would lose a decent bit of damage due to losing Death Sentence and Spectral Wrath levels. But maximum move speed, great. Physical resistance, 5%, great. 3 other good resistances, really good. Another 700 health. I may end up using those. Pretty much no to everything else. Deathbound Amulet is the Cold Drain Essence. Huh. No, that's fine. Alright, let's get out of here. This episode has gone on a little long, but there is still a quest turn-in that is going to get me a purple item, and some people might want to see that. I'm going to keep the bounty for Tor Exterior, just in case I want to... Ooh. Okay, so... that Vitality proc is going to be largely converted. Can you just... Shush, I'm trying to think here. Alright, so would I swap this out? We get Vitality and Bleeding. I can definitely swap it out for Albrecht's Duality, but I probably don't want to. Impervious Ring, if I take that off, doesn't really affect my resistances. Poison and Acid, decently over cap. Piercing, anything over the cap. Piercing just needs to be at 80 and you're good to go. And then Vitality, well, I do have 90% on my chest, which does mean I'll be under if I take that off. So I can actually put this ring on. Now the question is, do I want to? Healing effect increase is really good. It's basically any source of getting health back that isn't regen or this yellow bar, which is, I think, Constitution. So that's really good. The health would be nice. The rest is kind of whatever. Life Taker. It's basically a Vitality Nova. So I've got, what have I got there? 25%. I've got 77% Vitality converted to Aether. So this is going to be something like 1,500 Aether plus like 1,000%. So yeah, it's probably whatever. I think I'm going to keep the area on Death Sentence and not worry about converting Vitality damage procs. And we have Sovereign Ruby of Domination, which, yeah, pet stuff. Alright, cool. Well, that is going to be the end of this expansion, and also the end of this episode. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching and listening to my waffling, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks very much, and goodbye.